you're a professional athlete.
Yeah.
So your story is really an inspiring one for many people, I think. So if you start off, I mean, you have the power of the mind and human spirit in you, and let's go to learn from you here on this show, because I think many people are struggling with mental health, and also many people, unfortunately, are thinking about suicide or
Mm.
have some kind of depression that make them feel that life is not worth living. So this show is really important. So if we start off by if you can introduce yourself to the people, who are you, and a little bit about your journey also, from where you were and where you are today.
Yeah, absolutely, Stina. Well, I grew up in a little village called Maguire's Bridge. Not many people would know it, to be honest. There's a very small population, about 2,500 people. Um, I was born in Dublin. I grew up in Northern Ireland, though more or less my whole um going up in my childhood and through my teenage years. I was into adulthood. I was in lived in Maguire's Bridge. And yeah, I was a very active child. Um, I was running amok sometimes, I suppose, getting up to no good. But that's what kids do. They just, you know, everything's an adventure to them. You know what I mean? And that's the way I was for uh, the kind of the first sort of period of my life.
Yeah.
Um, Till I was about 9, and um, my father got tragically killed in a lorry accident,
Mm.
and it was just a huge blow to the family, a huge blow to everyone's confidence, a huge blow to my mum. Like she had she had a young 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 7-year-old, and I was 9. So it was extremely difficult on her. Trying to raise 4 kids on her own, trying
Yeah,
to
I
run
can
a
imagine.
shop. We owned the shop. We owned the funeral parlor. Like trying to do all that stuff while, she just lost her loved one, or her husband.
Mm.
Um, Very difficult times. It affected me too through my end of primary school exams, which was around that time. I just struggled to focus in school, and my attention wasn't really there. I was pretty traumatized from what had just happened,
Mm.
and asking questions. Well, why my dad? Why I'm only 9? Like, why I'm the eldest? I knew him the most. Why? But that's life, I suppose, and you have to move on. You try and move on anyway, but it affected my anxiety quite deeply, and
Mm.
it gives you a sort of a very low self-esteem, and your confidence starts to wither.
Mm.
And at that stage, I'd started to get bullied. I was bullied quite heavily when I was younger. Um, and yeah, my sister explains that it was quite horrific. Um, and yeah, it was probably too much for me to process at the time, or even sort of remember, because
Mm.
I did go through such a difficult time in my life.
And how old were
Um,
you when you got bullied then? And what was the time
um,
period prior to your
Bullied
father's death?
between, like, I was bullied after about, while everyone's kind of very sympathetic and stuff towards you, and to do the best to help you when something's fresh. But around from when I was at 10, I probably got bullied before that as well, from when I was at a young age.
Mm.
But from around I was about 10 up till I was like 15, I got quite quite heavily bullied.
But that
and
was
laugh.
1 year after. You said you were 9 when your father
Yeah,
passed.
my father. Yeah, yeah,
So it was after your father passed. Do you think that has something to do with that? That you were struggling at home, and then that appeared also in school? Oh,
yeah. Well, it had a major impact on my confidence. It had a major impact on the way I viewed life. I was there was a lot of I had a lot of I had a lot of fear around death. I had intense health anxiety. I
mm,
thought you know I thought that everything and anything was wrong with me. When I was when there was no reason to be scared. There was a young fit lad, and yeah, but the more you believe something in your mind, the more that your subconscious can't tell the difference
mm,
between if
no.
it's true or not true. So I had basically convinced myself that I was sick, and yeah, and I kind of got a bit of bullying from that because people started to think that started to think that I was paranoid or sort of like losing my mind,
Okay.
and it was quite it was quite intense, and yeah, I got thrown out of the changing rooms naked in front of school. Um, I got, I got, I got, I came home with, crows in my lunch bag. I, you know, I, I was, yeah, I was just
Was a lot
few,
going on.
yeah, there's a lot going on. Yeah,
And
yeah,
I think many
oh,
people that are bullied in school have different kinds of similar stories as you
yeah,
have. It's
yeah,
just extreme that you tell me about getting naked, and then what a
yeah.
shame and what a humiliation
Uh,
for yourself at that
yeah,
young age.
was like I
But
was seen as sort of like a weak link, if that makes sense.
yeah,
People just wanted to take advantage of that, and you
yeah,
know,
yeah, and it says, of course, if the confidence is lacking because of your personal, many people are getting bullied because if we talk about bullying now, many people get bullied because they have something that
yeah, because
about the
they
confidence and
feel,
self-esteem,
hmm,
and the bullies as well, they are also people are bullying other people, they have also a story, so everybody has a story, good or
yeah,
bad, but being bullied is always something that is gonna be with you for the rest of your life in some way. And how do you see that today, because you have done a journey to becoming a professional athlete now? I mean, that's the
yeah,
mindset shift, I can imagine, that is
yeah,
really huge. But
yeah. Like,
is that
well,
affecting you somewhere what now as well in different kind of
yeah.
situation?
Well, I had to work. I had to work a lot on my self confidence. When I was 13, 14,
Yeah.
it was kind of like it was at a stage where I was, my mind was that messed up when I was a young teenager because I was going through all that bullying and I had all this like health anxiety and all this fear of death. And there was a few deaths in my family as well, and um, it it increased that fear, if that makes sense. And
Yeah.
yeah, I struggled to manage to go to school. I didn't go to school for a period of a few months. My
Mm.
mum, my mum tried to chase me around the backyard like I was kicking up tantrums. You know, uh,
Mm.
it was, it was, it just, I was not a settled young lad. I was, yeah, fairly tormented, and I just couldn't handle going in there.
No.
So eventually, my mum, um, got me a counselor, and I went seeing a counselor for a year and just worked on myself. Worked on little techniques I can use to like uh, make my anxiety not as bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, after a year of seeing the counselor, he had put me on Prozac, and that helped. I started to come out of my shell when I was about 15,
Mm.
um, around 14, 15, and my confidence was growing, and you know, I started to be more social, and I started to like uh, people could see it in me. They could see changes in me, and I built myself up from there right through until my I was 21. When I was 21, just like when I was 17, there was a lot of like obviously drink was introduced to me, and I, like any young teenager,
Yeah.
we went at it, and we went at it hard. Um, on the weekends, I played football, I played GAA, so that um kind of stepped me aside from that. Like it was yeah, um, when I was 21, my mum encouraged me to move over to Australia. Um, and yeah,
But did you move
I
alone? Did you move with your mother? Did you move by yourself to Australia?
no,
Your mother?
no, I didn't, I
No.
didn't, I didn't move, I didn't move by myself. No, I went with, I went over with four other guys from
Okay.
my village, from the football club, and yeah, four other lads called Sean, Stephen, Barry, and Mark,
Yeah.
and some really good friends of mine, and we went over, and yeah, we went over to Thailand first, and we had a month there, and we went to Perth was our first stop in Australia. Done a bit of farm work there, and then up to Melbourne, and then up to Sydney, 2008. Sydney, Sydney in 2008. We landed in Sydney December 2008. And then I was there for the best part of was there in Sydney for the best part of 2008 to 2017, I think it was. Um, but yeah, in my time in Sydney, when I landed in Sydney, we got involved with another GAA club, a Gaelic club, which is a couple with a round ball, and we got into a good social group, and we are having lots of fun, and we were going on lots of boat parties, and obviously there was lots of meet and greets. You know, we we were having the times of our lives. Like like we were young. You know, we were fit. We were healthy. Like we weren't too concerned about our health at that stage. I know I wasn't anyway. Not as much as I was the period that I went through when I was 14. But yeah, we really enjoyed ourselves for about. I remember for good the guts of 3 years. We really enjoyed ourselves. We've seen a lot of Sydney. We've seen the harbour. We walked over the harbour bridge. You know, we were down around Bondi Beach. We were in Coogee. We done the whole round. Um, the great weather. Yeah, the coffee's fantastic. Probably, probably.
I need to
I
go
would
to
probably,
Australia someday.
I'd probably go as far as say it's probably the best coffee in the world.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah,
But you didn't live that healthy, but you lived the life
yeah, I lived the life. I
maximum.
lived the
Yeah.
life. So basically, I got into work, and from Friday when I finished at 5 o'clock or whatever time it was straight to the pub. It was get the schooners into me or get the pints into me, and that went on for the whole weekend. And that was on a numerous amount of occasions. Um, and it just there was no escaping it. There was something on every weekend. There was somebody either coming out, um, and you had the FOMO, fear of missing out, or it was someone's birthday, or there was no escaping going out. We were in the middle of a big community of about 30 or 40 Irish, and we all lived near each other, and there was no escaping really the party life. And so when I was 24, I